I distinctly remember a Monopoly game that went on for days. And we created special rules, so it became this odyssey. And people went to bed thinking about what their next big move was going to be and how they were going to get to Park Place or whatever. You know Monopoly. And I hope that board games are a big part of what you're doing.
Those were the days when everything was possible.
When I was a kid, I distinctly remember an ice storm that put us out of power for about 2 weeks in our house. And we used to have this giant cast iron stove in our living room, and we never really used it except for those 2 weeks. And I distinctly remember heating the whole house and my dad cooking pancakes on the griddle on the top of it. And it's just one of those memories that will stay with me for a long time, and just all the sleeping bags that were scattered around the living room to stay warm. It was just a really fun memory.
I remember eating a lot, playing Monopoly, baking cookies, just hanging out with my siblings.
Playing firewood or working in the garage is pretty much what I would do.
What I always do is to play outside. I'm from Costa Rica, we don't have snow days, we don't have anything, we just play outside, enjoy the weather.
I love to do puzzles with my mom, and so we always had a puzzle going on our dining room table.
We also did a lot of games, so those old school board games, Game of Life and Emo. We had a lot of books.
Siblings would take all of our little bitty toys and hide them from each other around the room, and then we would have to go and find them, and it was just our fun game that we did.
I remember when I was young, my sister and I, to entertain ourselves, would take pillows from all over the house and create pathways to the kitchen or to our bedroom or to the basement, and we pretended like the floors were lava. So we couldn't step on the carpet or the wood floors. We had to only use the pillows, and we would spend hours creating ways to get around the house, and then my parents would probably end up tripping over the pillows, which made us even laugh harder.
When I was a kid, I used to watch episodes of I Love Lucy and eat mac and cheese with my mom and dad.
I remember loving heading out in the backyard with my brothers, and we would get extra rounds of soccer games in.
As a kid at home, stuck with weather, we always played chess or checkers or got board games out. I learned other card games like Bid Whiz. We played spades. We did a lot of just active, fun stuff. We had to shut down time for reading, all different types of books and literature.
My sister and I play the game of life. Now, being the younger sister, I can tell you I never won. My sister was the winner in the game of life.
I would learn how to play a card game called Euchre, or I would learn how to play some new board games, and I learned how to play the game Risk in the blizzard of '78.
The very first thing I would do on any day that I was stuck away from school is I would make the biggest possible fort that I could with my brothers.
We would do a lot of baking, and I loved to help my mom measure all the ingredients for cookies, and baking the cookies, and then of course eating them afterwards was always awesome.
We spent a lot of time playing Uno by candlelight, which was super fun, and lots of board games.
Usually the days were filled with work I needed to do around the house. I grew up on a farm, so we had to go out to the barn and tend to the animals, feed them, water, that kind of thing, carry in wood or cut wood for the wood stove.
I always found things that I had to keep my hands busy at all times, so I always would figure out how to make like Play-Doh from scratch. I did paper mache using like flour and water and just recycled goods. It didn't matter what was in my house, I just had to be building things, whether it was like making a fort out of furniture or things like that. Construction paper, we always had stuff laying around that I just kept moving.
I liked to read books with my kids, and I liked to also play games with my kids. And when I was little, I liked to play hide and go seek in the house and also read my chapter books.
When I was a kid, I used to read books a lot and spend a lot of time outside. Those were the days